Hi, it's Matthew Dixon of mindaid.ca, and I'm going to tell you something. When I was sick with schizophrenia at my worst, I still have the disease. I'm not cured of it, but I'm feeling great these days. My symptoms left as of February 11th, 2021. But for most of my recovery, I felt that I had to look normal. Try to appear normal, Matthew. In 94, when I first got diagnosed, in 95, 96, for many years, I didn't feel good. A friend of mine said my eyes looked different when I was sick with that compared to when he saw me before when I was a kid in my teens. My eyes looked different. My body language was different. My voice was different. They talk about affect with schizophrenia. You have more of a, I don't know what the right word is, neutral face. I don't know what you want to call it. I didn't feel good emotionally. My emotions were off the charts. Just the depression, the anxiety. It was horrible. I had no idea the human body was capable of feeling those kinds of emotions that intense. No idea. And you feel that bad, and you have to appear normal. In the 90s, into the 2000s, it wasn't here in Canada, 2010, when the Bell Let's Talk program came out for the first time, the first mainstream initiative trying to start a conversation, getting people to talk about mental illness. Look how far we've come in the last decade, especially with COVID in 2020, getting people talking about mental illness. Look how far we've come. But for the bulk of my recovery, I had to try to appear normal. I couldn't remember what normal was. My mind was bombarded with stimuli every second, every day, and I had to attend to that stimuli. It kept me occupied every second. How am I going to do this? How am I going to can I do this? Every second was I didn't even like the word challenge back then. I'm like, don't call this a challenge. People sign up to do challenges. People sign themselves up to do that. I didn't sign myself up for this. I was dragged kicking and screaming into this, into good old schizophrenia. Brandon Staglin, he has schizophrenia. He is a mental health advocate, and he said that he's thankful for what schizophrenia has given him with his life. And that's amazing. I'm so proud of you. And I wish more people could do that. People with schizophrenia or other mental illness. Be thankful, even though they may not be feeling the best. And it was tough for me. It was really tough to try to be thankful for feeling sick. But the book, The Survivor Personality, they talk about that. The book's written by Al Siebert. He says survivors who've gone through the Holocaust, cancer, natural disasters, they say, I would never have wanted to go through that again, ever in my life. I never want to go through that. But having gone through that and come out the other side, I am thankful for what that taught me. They say that was the best thing that ever happened to them. And it's been a long time coming with me to say, yeah, I'm glad that happened to me. It's been a long time coming. I wouldn't say I'm still there yet. I'm still trying to process what went on. But trying to appear normal, that was tough. It's like saying to someone who's drunk, Matthew, walk a straight line today. You're intoxicated, but walk a straight line. Try not to slur your words. I can't. Can't do it. Okay, well, we're going to send you out into public, and we don't want anyone to know that you're drunk. So just try to appear normal. Okay, anyway, that's what I did. for many, many years, tried to appear normal. If there was more tolerance for people with schizophrenia, it wouldn't have been that bad. And I'm hoping that that'll change. It's changed so much for mental illness, for depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, and some other lesser mainstream mental illnesses have a ways to go. We've got work to do on that, but it's coming. It's coming. So I it's amazing the confidence I'm starting to feel after 27 years of recovery. It's amazing how that's starting to kick in. It is a real treat. And to be able to walk tall, if I have something to say, I just say it. To feel confidence in my voice, in my body language, instead of living in a very, very, very gray world, I'm starting to live in a black and white world again. And I know there's gray in a black and white world. But I'm going to say I had no black and white in my very gray world. Very little black and white. And that's just a feeling of what I mean by that is I wasn't certain about everything. I questioned everything. And that's why my mind just went around and around in circles, never settling on anything. Well, so and so said this to me. What does that mean? Well, they phrased it like this. Hmm. Okay, now someone else would phrase something like this another way. Now, how are those two different or similar? I don't know. I don't know. I can't figure this out. Your mind just goes around and around and around. In some ways, you can think properly. Parts of my brain ticked along just fine. Some of my thoughts ticked along just fine. And I said, okay, I want to go back to school. I want to try to finish my degree. Okay, I want to try to get a job. I think I want to have pizza tonight. Maybe I could go for a walk tomorrow morning. Hmm, I did have thoughts like that and I could plan. And I will say this people with schizophrenia, people with mental illness, for those who haven't gone through it, they may see us as lazy. And why do you just sit on the couch? Why don't you want to get up and do something? Well, it's very painful to do things. It hurts less if I just sit here still. It was hard to move my body. It was painful to move my body. And the pain didn't go away when I sat still, but the pain came down just a little bit. So I had a tendency to sit there and just appear lazy. I argue that people with mental illness have some of the highest rates of motivation ever. The the sheer force of will, if that's is that the right phrase, force of will, the willpower it takes to just simply sit there and exist with that kind of pain from 1 second to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, to keep sitting there and feeling that. That takes guts. That takes courage. If you're going through mental illness, you know what I mean. Carrie Fisher, the Hollywood actress, said people going through bipolar, because she had bipolar, and she means people with mental illness too. If you're going through bipolar, other mental illness, you deserve medals. Medals. Medals from your government, congratulating you on your bravery, your courage, your determination. I can't put them on your chest, but you've got them. You've earned them. And hopefully things are changing and people will respect that more. We've got war veterans. We honor the war veterans. Can we have mental illness veterans? People, mental illness juniors, not even veterans, people going through it at any age for however amount of time. You all deserve medals.